shows up on the left, I'm gonna be vindicated because that's where I put Noam Chomsky.
Alright, so...
You foolish undead,
Okay.
I have the power of katana. Oh shit!
Yes.
Smoker,
alright.
smoker!
Okay, so it's up and running. Alright, gentlemen, I'm going to be torturing you while you play Left 4 Dead with some Left 4 Dead fanfiction.
Oh, we're doing some late night fanfic.
We're doing some guerrilla streaming,
I think I see the tank. He's throwing shit.
Where is he? Where is he?
He's
Where
on
is
his
he?
left.
Oh shit!
Oh, that Molly's for you, sir.
And the best part is you're too distracted with the game to sidetrack me from torturing you.
God damn it, Aura.
Oh god.
Doesn't a third tank technically spawn?
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
kill me.
Oh, wait, isn't it
Get
two?
him up, get him up, get him up.
Oh, I'm dead.
Well, I guess 3 tanks can spawn, because remember that time a tank spawned when we opened the secret door, Max?
Yo, I actually fucking died.
Yo,
Yeah,
I
you
have to
did.
go get bullets. I have 15.
No, dude, helicopter's showing up.
Please, for the love of God, get me up.
Oh, you got
Alright,
Chomsky?
which side? Which side? Which side? Which side?
Someone please defib me, please.
Oh, hey, look at that! Look at that! Left side.
Fuck
Look
you.
at that. Oh, the tank's in the way.
Fuck
Can't see.
you.
I can't see.
Suck my dick. Fuck
Calm down.
you.
And I need you to go down. No,
Save
that works.
Chomsky.
We saved Chomsky. I can't believe I got fucking...
Nose
What?
didn't have the nose?
What? No, I've definitely done the
No, remember you had to switch Steam accounts a couple years ago?
You're right.
Oh.
God, that's funny.
His parents
What?
took his away.
No,
What did
I know. I
just
actually got
join?
that back. It was hacked.
Anyway, I was right. It can show up on the right. Ha!
No, Atten, that was
Thank
the
you,
side
Brett.
I predicted.
Yeah.
Atten,
That's
we
the
were saying no,
pain
Atten, we were saying
incapacitation.
Atten, we were saying left or right if you were on the stage looking towards
Okay,
the stage.
then I'm sorry. It can show up on the right when you're looking out from the stage, and I'm gonna go pull up fucking YouTube to prove it.
I'm sure you will.
Alright,
Alright,
you
see
know
what we
what,
got here.
Sneaky and I, it doesn't change the fact that Sneaky and I have still never seen it on that side in any of our games.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, let's see what we got here. We got Left 4 Dead 2
Oh my
Series
God.
1.
And we killed like 100 infected, special infected just between you and me.
How did I
that's
get
a
the least
lot.
amount of
Over
damage?
so many specials.
That's a lot of specials. Left 4 Dead
41%
2
accuracy.
Series 1. 4 strange characters must team up to fight their way out of apocalypse disaster. Little romance won't hurt, right? But this will happen in middle of apocalypse? Question mark? All Left 4 Dead 2 characters belong to Valve, but this story is mine, Japanese face, smiley. By the way, please review. One
Oh, boy.
chapter, 100 words. I am curious.
That's not a
Oh,
fic.
this is
That's
perfect.
a prompt.
This is perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have time-stamped this.
Uh-huh.
You're going to see it come in. It's
I-
going to fly over the right side, looking from the stage.
I like that Atten thinks that we care.
Yeah.
No,
Guys,
this is about proving that I am correct.
I need you guys to look at this chapter. At this
Wait,
chapter.
is he streaming?
Oh,
Oh my god,
yeah,
you're
he
streaming
is.
on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yep,
Wait.
that's hacked. Man, that's a really good hack.
Fake news.
I've never seen it on that
What
side
the
in my hundreds of
fuck?
hours in this game.
Oh, wow.
What is this bullshit?
What
Sneaky.
the hell?
What is this bullshit?
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm gonna get my food. The internet vindicated me. I'm getting
No,
my
you just think it did.
Hmm.
What in the fuck are those ads?
I mean, that first one would probably make me click it just because.
Mm.
You know what? You're not even wrong.
I have no idea what the, the fucking murder sunflower. What the fuck? I can't look at Magic Missile the same way anymore because I blame this meme. Well, post the meme.
You
It's
didn't
the
post
Royal
them.
Road one. The Royal Road one, I think.
So this is their.
Oh yeah,
Ah.
I might be out of spells, but I ain't out of
From-
shells.
Oh,
Listen,
they just
that's the true
completely.
magic mirror missile.
That's great.
I like to think that see, you have to
So
work with the
they
DM on this one. Yeah,
wait.
yeah, yeah. There we
Oh,
go.
hang
Yeah,
on a
exactly. You have to work with the DM on this one, but just like work with him to allow you to have an enchanted RPG, right?
I mean,
And
yes.
it's a once per day cast that reloads at the end of the day, right, or something.
Here,
And you have to have the joke the entire time. Don't make me cast magic missile. Don't make me cast magic missile. But magic missile's not on your spell sheet. And so finally something shows up, and you have to pull out magic missile. It's just a fucking RPG. Everyone's like, "What?"
That was my magic missile.
I mean, here's the thing that can scare any DM if you bring up a certain spell. What is considered an object?
Yeah.
Yeah. I cast Fabricate. I now
Oh,
have...
Well, the problem with Fabricate is, last I checked, you have to have the resources for it and know what you're making.
Yes.
Nah.
No, wait, no. You can technically make it out of something that's in the area or also not in the area because you need to have proficiency with it. But technically, making a crossbow is technically accurate to a gun in some ways. I mean, technically,
in no ways.
I mean, technically, an RPG is just a giant crossbow if you think about it.
It
Yeah,
is, but
be
also
back
not
in
at
a few
all.
minutes. Left 4 Dead boys, figure out what map we want to do next when I get back.
You convert
See if
raw
you can-
materials into products made of the same material. Example, you can
Wait, what?
fabricate a wooden bridge from trees.
I mean, where's the rope coming from, gamer?
You don't need rope to make a
Like
wood
it's a
bridge.
suspension bridge.
No, it's
no,
a
that's
wood
not-
bridge.
You can make a suspension bridge out of wood, but if you're not specifying suspension bridge, why would you need the rope?
I thought the
Yeah.
example was it was a suspension bridge.
No, because it goes on to say a rope from a patch of hemp and clothes from flax or wool. Choose materials you can see within your spell range. You can fabricate larger or smaller objects contained within a 10-foot cube or 8 connected 5-foot cubes, given sufficient quantities of the raw material. If you are working with metal, stone, or another mineral substance, the object can be no larger than medium. The quality of the objects made by the spell are equal to the quality of the raw materials. You also cannot use this spell to create anything that has a high deal of craftsmanship involved, such as jewelry, weapons, glass, or armor, unless you have proficiency with that artisanal tool. So unless you have a gun tool set, you ain't making no gun. Anyway, let's see what we got here. We got Left 4 Dead. That's a bold story choice. Just calling your story Left 4 Dead. That guy was using.
Well, no one
create
actually
objects
believes
with
there's an
literal
actual
shit.
Left 4 Dead 1, so...
A Vietnam War veteran, cocky, burly biker, positive office worker, and capitalized young woman, flunking her first semester of college. All of them find comfort in each other after losing their world to the menace of the green flu virus. Now alone in the city of Fairfield, they must band together and escape or die to the horde. Okay, so first off, there is no punctuation in this entire fucking summary. Second off, if you knew Left 4 Dead, you would know that Francis did not lose his world. In fact, Francis's storyline is specifically that he gained from the apocalypse happening. Because before, he was just some shitty, stupid biker, but now he can put his violent tendencies to good use. And he was having fun in the apocalypse, blowing shit up, burning things down, and killing people.
Hmm.
Also, Zoe kind of did use the apocalypse to escape as well, because she was a horror nut. And autistic. Looking back on it. So, I mean, this story is obviously going to be dog shit. I mean,
Is there a way to do a good Left 4 Dead story though?
yes, actually. Very easily.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's very easy to do a good Left 4 Dead story. Is all you have to do is not format it like a campaign. And
Mm.
then you're fine.
Hey, Sneaky.
Hmm.
How much you want to bet the crossovers are every shonen
Oh,
anime
just
protagonist
every
working
fucking
together?
yeah, it's just terrible. Yeah, yeah, they are.
I want to see Deku eaten by zombies while Yuji has to watch in horror.
Let's see. We got to get the monsters within. This is a new take on the story of the young woman Zoe. Okay. Okay. New take. Okay. Let's see how new this take is, gentlemen. She was starting to get her life together, studying and making her parents happy. That was until the world changed in a blink of the eye, and now she's lost everything. Now, with unspeakable horrors around every corner in this unrecognizable living hell, she must learn to put her trust into a new family, a found family. Okay, first off, you have 30k words, 5 chapters, and you've done this over the course of 3 fucking years. So, not looking good for you already there, champ.
It depends on how many fics they've got. If they're one of those authors that has fucking dozens of them,
I
then
mean,
that makes more sense.
it doesn't really matter. No, they only have 2 stories.
Yeah. Oh, fuck them.
I mean, it doesn't really matter, though. You can have 99,000 fics, and I'll still shit on you for having the progress rate you do have. Because when you're telling a story, you have to tell the fucking story, okay? Like,
I mean, I'd shit on them for having 99,000 fucking fics, but yeah.
well, yeah. But like, this is what I shit on Sign for as well. I'll shit on any author that's got a whole shit ton of stories, or even just one story, and they're just not updating it at a good rate. Because, you know, if you're gonna make like chapters of 3,000 words, you need to be updating it every week. 3,000 words is not a lot. It's a scene.
Yeah.
And if you're not updating it every week, like, oh yeah, I update it like every 3 months. It's like, okay, yeah, people are gonna forget what the fuck's going on.
Even a week, and sometimes depending on what you're setting up, people will just forget it if you take too long in the setup.
Oh well, yeah, certainly. Well, like, okay, so the great example is, so I was recently reading a story called The Infernal Comedy, which is a self-insert into Rias Grimoire from DxD. Just writing an AN is difficult. Yeah, well, perish. So Infernal Comedy is not funny at all.
No.
It's supposed to be a parody story, but it's not. The author waffles on forever about pointless shit. They hate paragraphs because every fucking new sentence is a new paragraph. Their dialogue is dog shit as well. There's been multiple times in the story where 2 characters will just start speaking to each other, and like, how the author shows them start speaking to each other is like, they'll be talking about like waffles or something, and how the conversation ended is actually they were flirting the whole time, and they one just sexually propositioned the other, and I'll just be like,
What?
huh?
What?
Huh? But anyway, so how I originally found the series is they wrote a spin-off. Is the author female? I think they're trans.
Of course.
So, this author wrote a spin-off. Their spin-off is called Oh Bloodstained Star, which is a DxD Harry Potter crossover.
I think I've
And-
seen that one in the crossover section.
Yeah, I was shitting on it earlier, in Sign
Yeah, it was-
Server.
Yep.
And so the chain of events here is in Infernal Comedy, the author commits suicide by taking pills, wakes up as Arius, and then lives as Arius for a while, and then kills a Japanese god of fire, eats his soul, and then hangs herself afterwards because she really wants to die. And a constant theme throughout the story is suicidal ideation. And they constantly talk about wanting to commit suicide. And yeah, so anyway, this is where Oh Bloodstained Star picks up, is their suicide attempt in their Infernal Comedy story works as Rias, so they get isekai'd as Rias into Harry Potter with all of her power-ups. So she's like this fucking god now. And
Wow.
yeah, so Dumbledore finds her and is like, "Hey, will you be the new Defense Against Dark Arts teacher? Random omnipotent devil god?"
Well, to be fair, Dumbledore is a bit hard up for teachers there.
So she agrees because she wants to craft the children. She wants to groom the children into becoming god-killing weapons. So they can kill her. And she'll force them to kill her by becoming a terrorizing villain to make the children she crafted into god-killing weapons kill her a god. Because she really wants to die, and she the author constantly talks about how suicide is good, suicide's great, they really want to die, they just want to commit suicide. But they never want to do it themselves. They always talk about how every single time they commit suicide, they realize that the way they're doing it is basically pussy, and then they keep pussying out of doing it for real. Like, you know, Rias, power of destruction to the brain, boom, done, you're dead. But no, the author is scared of dying, but constantly talks about wanting to kill themselves and wishing someone would just kill them so they could die, because they don't want responsibilities or expectations. So it's pretty cringe. It's pretty cringe. And the reason why I dropped the Bloodstained Star spinoff was because the author decided that Defense Against Dark Arts should be live combat against Fate monsters. You know, monsters from Fate, this series. So she uses her
from like Fate Stay Night and all that.
Yeah. No,
The only monsters are from FGO.
Right, but well, I'm saying the universe.
What?
Yeah.
So, like, she's pulling dragons and various mythological entities. Era.
She's
Fate
not
kind of bullshit.
dragging them out. She's creating
that
them
reference to?
wholesale with her god powers. To make the kids fight them.
What is this? What is the context I'm missing? here?
So the
DxD
context.
Harry Potter cross with her
SI
as
and reincarnates as Rias.
So self-insert has a lot of suicidal ideation and tries to commit suicide a bunch constantly, and talks about committing suicide a bunch, and talks about how suicide would fix all of her problems. And then ends up in Harry Potter with the power of a god and grooms children. to becoming god killers, so she can then force them to kill her because she doesn't want to actually kill herself, but she does want to die. So she's gonna force the children to kill her. And she's teaching them by creating monsters from the Type Moon universe and forcing them to fight the monsters. And then when they die to the monsters, she uses her godly powers to raise them from the dead and heal them.
Mm.
And yeah, so we finished the chapter for that, and then the next chapter, well, the end of that chapter, which is why I dropped the story, was she pulls out a book on Latin dictionary, and gives it to all the kids, and the kids are like, what do we do with the Latin dictionary? And she's like, well, are you guys stupid? All of your spells are in Latin, so clearly if you just cast spells using a Latin dictionary, you'll just have stronger spells. And then Hermione casts Lumen, which is the real Latin word for light instead of lumos, and it produces a flashbang tier sun light instead of the dull bright light that lumos does. Proving the
My cataracts have just been flashed.
Yeah.
Awesome. Those are burned out.
I cast Lumos. Fucking cast Lumos around the corner and just try to leap out with another spell.
But yeah, so that's so yeah, the author then proved the superiority of raw Latin casting, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, Latin dictionaries are the most powerful grimoires." Yeah. I do appreciate that both of you had the exact same reaction. But yeah, so and then the original fic, there was a lot of suicidal ideation as well, and I was just like, yeah. I think I ended up dropping that one. Yeah, so right, that's what it was. So I ended up dropping Infernal Comedy, the original source of this story, because they decided to have 8 plus, I don't know, maybe more than 8 chapters, but 8 chapters worth in a row of some fucking random MC. So it's following Rias, it's following Rias, it's following Rias. There's an interlude chapter where Cockaballs blows up the Vatican and blames it on the devils because he used a devil bomb to do it. And
I'm sorry, what?
Except there's no such thing as a devil bomb.
well, he
There is
invented
now.
one, and he used it to blow up the Vatican and to blame the devils. And so he uses the devil bomb instead of attacking Kuo, because he's like, "Ho, I'm so smart. I'm gonna make the heaven and the devils fight each other, and then we, the fallen, will swoop in and kill the victor." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I don't think.
I'm like, all right, whatever. And then after that interlude chapter, it's just 8+ chapters worth of some fucking random OC in America fighting exorcists and having a whole I'm a sad boy thing going on.
What?
Because his
Is this
family
the
got
same author
killed
for-
in retaliation by the exorcists.
Is this by the same author who did that depressing angel story?
No. No.
Ugh.
Half of Sona's peerage died? I'm sure, yeah.
Who?
That's why I dropped the story, so I don't know about anything past that. But yeah, so it's just like dozens of chapters of this fucking random OC in America, and I'm just like, I'm not interested. I'm here for the self-insert Rias bullshit you have going on. Fucking give me more of that. I don't want to read about your random OC. Oh yeah. Later on, the Japanese attack Kyoto. Yeah. And that's where Rias eats the god. Kills off most of Sona's peerage. Yeah. That's
And
just,
what happened to Reis's peerage?
she killed the god, ate it. Put Kaneko into a coma. Yeah, well. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, like this author is just like a wannabe wild bow.
All the edge, all the cringe.
Yeah, a bunch of edge, a bunch of cringe, everyone holding idiot balls until they need to do some next terrorism, and they're like, oh, well, you see, we were secretly acting stupid the whole time, so we could lure you into a false sense of security.
Ah, yes, of course.
Let's see what we got here. We got the
The classic,
aftermath.
you've activated my trap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the aftermath. 4 survivors escape nightmare they stuck in for a month. As they were rescued, everything was a dream where they stay forever. But good things come to end as one of highly contagious test subject free of cubicle. This will lead out 4 survivor to new set of journey facing new horrifying infected rated M for gore.
And bro, imagine having such a big skill issue that you survived as a not carrier.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Atin, you shouldn't brand him.
Is that even back?
Oh, I guess he's not.
No, he's deleting. Let's see here. Left 4 Dead, Butterflies in Summer Breeze. My name was Deacon. But ever since damn infection mutate cause apocalypse, I've refrained from speaking around others. Most just call me kid. You can call me neither.
What?
Okay.
Okay, Edgelord.
Left 4 Dead 2, Stroke's Journey. Goddamn, hey, you right. Yeah, all right. You right, man. You right. Definitely Stroke's Journey indeed. Yeah, man, you right. Stroke's Journey. Stroke is a high school student. You could say that. Who was part of gang so tight they like family. But when green flu mutate thanks to negligence. No. That's not how that works. Viruses mutate. Just
In
in general.
never really mutated. Like, it was kind of a freak of nature that didn't need to mutate throughout the course of its run.
Well, I mean, it created the special infected, so that is a
Yeah.
mutation.
Well, yeah, but like it never really went beyond those that we saw.
Oh yeah. I mean,
And I thought those mutations were more because of like the unique individual's genetic code.
I mean,
the
it was
virus
never
itself.
really explained, but I mean, probably maybe.
I'm sure there's some note somewhere that we just never found in our hundreds of hours in this game.
You know what? We did play with developer mode. Now they did talk about some of that, like as like a theory. I don't think they ever canonized that.
Yeah, I don't think anything was ever real. Yeah, that's one of those things where they probably just left it to people's imaginations.
Yeah, which is honestly better sometimes.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to think: is there female common infected?
Yeah, they're female common infected.
Are there?
Certainly shot a few during our game.
There
Yeah.
are several female common infected, my guy.
Yeah, there's plenty.
So I was gonna say it's entirely possible the reason why there's so many witches is because every woman mutated into a witch, and the ones that failed just kind of died. But anyway, mutated thanks to negligence, which no, his family was torn apart. One dead, the other was a corpse he had to kill. Also, not how the green flu works. His only goal is to find the last member of his family, but can he succeed as he's slowly being infected? That's also not
not
a thing.
how it works.
Yeah. The green flu is canonically like a fucking sprinter in terms of infecting people. Like, either you're infected and you're turning, like, now,
Instantly,
or
or you're not infected.
well, or you're infected and you're a carrier and you're fine.
Mm.
Someone was just in combat in Star Sector and hit caps lock to accelerate. I really need to make caps lock not the acceleration button, because I keep playing Star Sector and hitting caps lock and then like paging out and going to Discord and starts typing. I'll have this like whole fucking paragraph typed up.
So
and then
that's
I'll look
why
down.
it's always in caps. That's why you're always sometimes in caps that the SDM will hear. I thought you were just drunk and talking in caps, like you forgot to hit caps lock off.
No, it's because I keep fucking hitting caps to accelerate the time frame and then tabbing out. I really have to change that fucking keybind. Left 4 Dead 3 by Major Nomad Edition. If you want to know my thoughts of what Left 4 Dead 3 could have been if Valve made it and was not afraid to break the lore about making third game and adding stuff into game, comment if you want more.
No one wants you to make more. Please stop.
Stop making more.
Hi, Atin.
Hello.
I really love how he says comment if you want me to make more. 0 reviews, 4 favorites, 2 follows.
Sneaky, you should add the first comment. The
Don't.
very first comment. No.
Don't
Sneaky, the
make
comment
more.
should simply be paradox. We'll see if they're smart enough to get it.
I'm gonna say no. Probably not smart enough.
Oh, they're
to get it.
definitely not. But it's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. Fanfiction Major Nomad checking in again. This content not meant to bash Valve. This is just what I think Left 4 Dead 3 could be if creators made it and not afraid to break norms and the lore. Okay, well, first off, why would you want to break your own game's lore? Like, if you're gonna break the lore that you've set in a series that you've made 2 wildly popular games for, just make a new game. It's another 4-person, no powers, rush to the safe room game. Just call it something else if you're gonna break the lore. It's just. This is why fanfiction authors, a large, vast majority of them, will never become anything to do with any form of media. And the ones that do sucked dick to get there. Because they are uncreative dipshits who cannot comprehend things like continuity. They might also make a movie or TV series or a really well-made 3D animation series. Yeah, because that's what Valve's known for, is 3D animation.
Yes.
Yes. This is something other than a Call of Duty remake. Wait, don't tell me that's something you post.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
No, don't tell me. Oh, no. Oh, he does. Oh, he does. All of his other fucking stories are just, what if they made Call of Duty but correctly, i.e. how I want them to make it?
Oh, fuck off.
One must wonder how 50 Shades got published. Well, yeah, it's quite easy. It's because a guy wrote it for women, knowing women better than women, and women bought it because it's porn. You see, the secret is you don't have to be creative for women, because they don't care. That's just how it is. I mean, I'm sorry, but look at Hallmark movies. It is literally a formula. It is quite literally the same thing every time, but because the guy is hot, the girl is all right looking, usually, sometimes hot, but in a position of modern woman. They insert themselves into that position, and they love the movie. It doesn't... 50 Shades author was female? Were they?
I don't.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter.
Also, so I can't. I genuinely can't use real names.
How about that?
But
She's a woman.
I was gonna say I genuinely can't use real names. But we have a family friend who she went to school to be a scriptwriter.
Yeah.
And she landed a job with Hallmark.
Yep.
And she's like, yeah, they sat me down.
It's a Mad Lib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Like it's they're like you're without getting too specific, they said that she needed to have an ethnicity in there.
Yes.
Like you need to have ABC, you need to have XYZ. Like
yep.
It's a formula more locked down than a fucking pop song, baby.
Yep. No, 100%. Yeah, I know. You pick a season, and then either they're returning to their hometown, or they're trying to make it big in the city, or pick your flavor of why they're new to the area, and then pick the flavor of why the guy is there. He's trying to get away from his job. He's returning to his hometown. Et cetera, et cetera.
He's there because his father's making him close some small business.
Yeah, right, exactly. And her business happens to be the small business. It's a very formulaic, literal, Mad Lib, multi-choice answer formula. And hey, I'm not knocking it. Don't get me wrong here. Don't get me wrong here. I am not knocking it. However, it is a formula. And it's a formula because women don't care about creativity. Not all women, yes, that's disclaimers, yeah. Not all women.
Well, here's the thing. It's the same thing as right? Action movies for guys all follow the same fucking formula. Like,
right, it's the hero's journey, but the thing is that look at Star Trek versus Star Wars versus Battlestar Galactica versus Warhammer 40k fans. Like, all of these sci-fi properties, all of the fans for these series are rabid and accusing other series of copying off of them, and how their series is actually the original bestest one. You don't see that in the female circles. It's not about originality in the female circles for the female movies. It's just not. If you're trying to pander to a male audience, and if you're trying to be very serious about it, yes, people will start pointing out. People will be like, "Oh, you're just fucking ripping off of Dune with this one. Oh, you're just ripping off Lord of the Rings with this one." they'll accuse you of not being creative enough. If you're trying to be parody with it, if you're just trying to fucking make a schlocky action movie filled with explosions, i.e. Transformers,
Oh goodness me, yes.
no one's really gonna care. Like, they'll shit on you for being a schlocky action film, and then they go and watch it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Spaceballs, yeah, right, exactly. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you never confront a woman about this because I've shared this opinion before inside my family, and my grandmother who watches Hallmark movies, and my stepmother who watches Hallmark movies, and my stepsister who watches Hallmark movies will all just be like, "Oh my god, no! Each movie's different." No, they're not.
Now,
No.
I will say, they're my family, when Christmas rolls around, they really like to watch the Hallmark movies. I was actually surprised. There was one that actually was different this year. It was their own take on like a Christmas, Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
Sure.
Um,
Mm.
but it's like there was some actually different stuff. Like, oh, the people who were doing it, like there's a whole like heavenly bureaucracy. Honestly, it was very Chinese oriented in terms of plot, like for something that came out of a
What?
Hallmark movie. No, like there was like a whole heavenly bureaucracy, and people could get fired and kicked out of it, and these people were sent to they were giving this woman, they were trying to help her get Christmas right because she was struggling with Christmas, and she had
I
to
think I
help
know
this
the one you're
young
talking
guy.
about. Yeah.
She had to help this young guy get Christmas right.
Oh, sure, of course, yeah.
No, and so then they do, and she gets Christmas right, and then it cuts back to right. It's like, oh, it's all happy and everything's great, and then it cuts back to these three people in their office in heaven, and their manager's talking to them, and it's like, guys, what are you doing? You have one day left to fix this shit. You haven't helped insert guy's name senior at all. So then they have to go and they have to get the woman and the young man to help them recover the father's spirit of joy. But I was like, you know what? You actually put a twist on this.
Mm.
And it actually had some pretty funny scenes.
I mean, I guess, yeah, that's certainly new, I suppose, yeah.
Does anyone have that meme between male game or movie creators and female ones?
Oh, yeah, it's classic. But I mean, the Lego brick one?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why I don't have a problem talking about it, because it's an established study from Lego, one of the most successful toy companies in the world, and you can be fucking sure that Lego would not be using a incorrect study. Well, old Lego would not be using an incorrect study.
Yeah.
See, that's what old companies were good at. Is they wanted to make money, and they wanted to make a lot of money. So they did things that would make them a lot of money. Instead of these new fucking companies, just like, oh, well, we care about the environment, so we're gonna make our other games suck shit. I am not only a big Call of Duty fan, but I'm a big Left 4 Dead fan as well. Okay. In my opinion, some things are not meant to come together as a series. And I'm not creative enough to write a Left 4 Dead Call of Duty crossover. Okay. Yeah, this dude straight up just wrote like a whole, oh. Oh.
What's wrong?
What?
What the
Oh,
fuck?
Left 4 Dead survivors. Yeah, cheering, clapping. Woo, woo, woo.
Oh, shut up.
Why is it written out like a script?
Yeah, this dude published 500,000 words of shittily written script.
Oh no.
Did he misspell immune? Am I going insane? Am I having a stroke?
I mean, probably.
No, he spelled it correctly. Okay. I knew taking more than needed was the right call. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You are now free of green flu. Non-immunes and carriers no longer. Courtesy of the United States military and modern Western medicine. You're all now immune. Woohoo, yay, woohoo. After saving Snowden, the Left 4 Dead survivors drive back to the White House to receive their anti-carrier luminal agents.
What?
Uh-huh.
Bro!
I just
What
want
did
to
he-
hear.
what-
I want
what
to
did he
hear.
mean by this?
They said modern Western medicine. I want to know, what are their medical debts after that?
Well, I know, you see, it was by the U.S. military, so it's free. You just have to pay it in taxes. I'm gonna post this here.
Is this into science server?
Yeah, just that section. It's
Must
just-
inflicted upon others.
yeah, it's like, bruh, hello? It's like, yeah, guys, I'm a huge, big fan of Left 4 Dead 2. This is how I think Left 4 Dead 3 would go. The survivors pick
Yeah.
up their anti-carrier luminal agents from the White House to carry out the will of the U.S. military. Huh?
Are you sure? Are you sure we have not accidentally stumbled into a Metal Gear plot?
Oh, I thought this was some Helldivers crossover.
Right.
Raw. For Super Earth.
Oh. Well. Yeah, survive if it was good. Oh. Well, after that, I am going to go back to a new Fire Emblem Awakening playthrough.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
Metal Gear
So-
Survive had no hope of being good.
Yeah.
I heard nothing good about that game.
The demo was. I played the demo and it was.
What are we talking about?
okay.
Metal
Metal Gear
Gear
Survive.
Honestly, okay,
Gameplay wise, it was okay.
gameplay wise was fucking god tier in terms
No,
of
No.
No.
no, it was no, in terms of what it was. Okay, the zombie takedown animation, that was fucking excessive because you have to do it so much. But in terms of the the missions, if you go on the missions, if you play, did you play any of the missions?
Yes, I did.
That was great. That was exactly what I wanted out of it.
Like I said, it was okay. My problem is the loop was not compelling.
Oh, well, that's outside the missions, which is different.
Okay, yeah. The mission to mission gameplay I thought was pretty fun, but I had no reason to go do more of them.
Yes, yeah, the outside the base building XCOM part of it, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty dog shit. Also, didn't help that everything was on a fucking real life timer. It's like, oh, you built this water purification facility, wait 6 actual fucking hours for it to finish. It's like, I'm sorry, what? Or you can pay $2 to have it finished now. It's like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
you fucking what?
You shouldn't have as many microtransactions as a free-to-play mobile game.
Yeah, and it's and then the base defense sections were in complete contrast to the missions. The base defense sections were not only fucking boring, they were tedious, they were frustrating, because keep in mind, building your own base, kinda cool. the fact that that base could get destroyed by random zombie attacks where they attack you from 3 directions on purpose to make your base take damage, so you have to rebuild things that have timers on them.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
almost can never actually benefit from all of your base being online at any point in time during the game.
Mhm.
So it's really stupid. And then they made it super grindy, and they made it impossible to play solo, but then they also made it so it wasn't peer-to-peer and you had to rely on their servers, and their servers were dog shit.
Which game was this?
Metal Gear Survive.
Ooh.
Like, it had so much potential to be a actually genuinely fun game despite it, but then they just fucking milked.
Yeah.
They built the framework. They they got the calf out of the cow, and then they just kept milking and milking and milking. The cow's fucking dead on the ground, and they're still trying to milk it. And it's just like, my brother in Christ, you have to give some fucking pause.
No, hook it up.
Hook
it up to the remilker.
the 2 hours that you and I played in the open beta, those were okay. They were okay.
I mean, I played another 40 hours of the game when I
I
bought
know
it.
you did.
Yeah, and
Yeah, here's the thing. I played an hour, 2 hours of the open beta. I think I did a couple missions with you, Max, and I said, "Wow, I'm glad they did an open beta. I know not to spend my fucking money."
I do not recall this. Is Nose passed out at his computer?
probably.
I was not.
But yeah. So anyway, Max, glad you're back now. Are you ready for this author's very rational take on what Left 4 Dead 3 should be, where
Oh,
the
boy!
Left 4 Dead
Oh.
survivors receive their anti-carrier luminal agents to do the bidding of the U.S.
What
military?
difficulty are we on?
Advanced.
Doesn't
Sorry.
feel like it. Oh, there we go.
I mean, I can test it for you if you'd like.
Also, it's 90k words of script.
Bad scripting.
Bad script writing, yeah.
Ooh. Oh, script writing, bro, you can't do that on FFN. What the hell?
Bullpup rifle cocks, bullpup rifle clicks.
Bullpup rifle turns into a friendly fire incident.
Actions report abuse.
I'll give him this. A bullpup rifle would be kind of sick to have in this game without having to
There's a
mod
smoker.
Oh, hey, there's a deagle.
skin.
Mhm.
Okay, well, we're not saving Nose.
I thought you were with me.
Wow, nose being wrong must be a day ending in Y.
Hey,
No,
dipshit,
nose
shut up.
sprinting ahead.
Must be
Yeah,
a day ending in
you
Y.
know that thing where eventually I just got tired and was like, all right, later, Sneaky, as you're getting hunted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm approaching that with Nose by this
Mm.
point in the night.
Mm.
It's like, thanks for
Hmm.
being a distraction, and just move on with the rest of the team.
Let's see what we got here. We got Symbiosis by T-Virus Rose.
Hey, there's a nightstick.
A human train wreck of soldiers stranded after death of her team, and young man on opposite side of apocalypse who seem thirsty for blood
Explosive
and
rounds.
entirely too
Or
human,
incendiary
must
rounds.
decide what to do with each other after violent first encounter and how to survive another day. Trigger warning, violence, graphical mental illness. More trigger warnings per chapter.
How many?
24 chapters. Ongoing since 2016.
I
How
forgot
many
how
words?
short this first map is.
Oh, yeah, no, man. Dead Air might have the shortest intro map. What do you think, Sneaky? You think Dead Air's got the shortest intro map in Left 4 Dead?
Drop down there, go through there, go through there. Honestly, I think No Mercy's the shortest map.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No Mercy might be the shortest map.
You know what? That's a good point. Although, Left 4 Dead 1 opening maps tend to be just really short compared to Left 4 Dead 2's.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Left 4 Dead, each map would get like a little bit longer. Left 4 Dead 2 made a
It was a
pretty good
campaign.
balance.
Well, no, with Left 4 Dead 2, I think each campaign was supposed to take an hour in Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That sounds about right on normal. On advanced, once you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Expert if you're cheating.
So doing what Sneaky does.
Sneaky doesn't cheat. Sneaky just.
Well, no, he just speedruns.
Sneaky doesn't cheat. He just
Excuse you.
gets cracked.
Yeah.
Speed runs.
He walks in.
You see, I am the strongest.
You are the Emperor's strongest crackhead. Welcome to Krieg. Sorry.
Yes.
Sneaky is the entire reason that I found that I'm actually decent in support roles in games because I had to deal with him.
Honestly, I wish we still had some of the nonsense that we could do in Warhammer 40k, because
God.
I enjoyed making. I deeply enjoyed making the most absurdly overpowered melee unit I could in the AM. I called him SneakyDevil, the Emperor's strongest tempestuous crackhead.
Yeah, but now it's all been toned down because accessibility matters.
Listen, Sneaky, you had a chainsword.
Yeah.
Every time you rolled a 6,
Mhm.
it generated 7 additional attacks, and you had full hit rerolls.
Amazing.
Now, you were still a guardsman with a chainsword, so you didn't kill much, but by God, did you make them roll a lot of dice and they were scared.
Oh, you fucking with me.
Okay, so so I mean,
I kind of want to keep the MP5.
okay, so
really
the
wish I
author's
had
got
someone to
some
fucking-
middling storytelling going on here between the
Oh, which summary?
infected
Hold on.
and the non the edgy
Where is she?
the edgy and non-infected bloodthirsty female marine.
Where did she go?
Graphic eye trauma.
I think we just completely bypassed her.
That's unfortunate. I'm gonna go look for her.
What are you fucking doing, you idiot?
Drowning a witch.
Oh,
Well,
of
hey,
course.
at least it's not this dude's weird fucking fan fiction where they're living with the infected.
Well, no, she definitely is living with him now. They're having sex. Trigger warning,
course.
misgendering.
Or backup.
No!
Trigger
backup.
warning,
I'm gonna light this thing on fire. Backup.
you're literally in an apocalypse.
Please help.
Why do you care about being misgendered?
Gamers, I require aid.
There's fire between us and you at the moment.
Well, I mean,
Understandable.
that's very true to character for the pronoun squad. So, I'm not surprised. they
Trigger
care that much
warning,
about
dysphoria, and attempted suicide. Oh, of course.
Oh.
Oh, please get me up. Please.
I'm trying. I'm getting no backup from the squad.
I am being chargered.
Damn it does.
Well,
Oh, that's
I don't think I can get you up in
Rip.
time.
All right,
Oh,
so
maybe I
that's
can.
cringe.
I made it.
Or maybe we could just cheat.
Snickers, in which the protagonist adopts a hunter
Hey,
and
big ass out of you, huh?
then cleans him up, and then they have sex. God, Jesus Christ. Why
There's a
is the
boomer up
Left
there.
4 Dead section just so filled with women who want to fuck the hunter?
I mean, for the same reason, there's a bunch of weird fucking guys that want to fuck the witch, man. Poor standards and daddy issues.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm,
Hungry. The 4 survivors finally retrieved the gas Virgil needs for his boat. Before they can reach the river, Rochelle finds herself in danger and the group is overwhelmed with infected. Nick manages to save her, but their time alone leads to a confession, and then they fall
hear
in
a
love
tank.
and they have sex.
I'm healing. Everybody heal.
Okay.
I hate the internet, by the way.
Yeah. A baby of mine. No one has seen infected children or infected babies. Not until today. Rated M
Or
for
you
sex.
really should heal.
No one has seen X. I promise you, dude. Some dude wrote a fan fiction like 15 years ago that did exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
actually, you know what?
promise.
I actually really like the Dying Light, how Dying Light handled that. So in Dying Light, the Haran virus, which would inflict the mutations on the people, either turning them into zombies or turning them into the supers.
Yeah.
Basically, the virus is too much for the kids and would just kind of kill them instead of turning
I mean,
them.
that makes
And
sense.
The kids
Yeah.
that didn't get turned, the kids that didn't die to it would get turned into these special screamer infected.
Oh god, those things were awful. Honestly, those were so much worse to me than the babies in Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead.
Dead
Space.
Dead Space. Yeah. I mean,
Hey, you know what? At least it's not the fucking stalkers. Those things still.
what
suck.
really baffled me about the
God damn it, author. Auto.
what really baffled me about the fuck.
Okay, I'm gonna heal myself after
Oh,
this.
alright, cool.
Yeah, there's a tank ahead.
What really baffled me about the babies, the number of babies, the sheer number of babies on the USG Ishimura, was that's a lot of fucking pregnant women.
Well, it was a whole city ship. Like,
It wasn't a city ship though; it was a mining ship.
yes, but the crew lived and worked on that. Like Sneaky. Like, there were quite literally whole families on there. Like,
Oh fuck, run!
Sorry, you walk
Oh,
right
that's
in front of
always
me.
funny
Oh,
to
the
hear.
babies?
fuck,
No, the babies were only in Dead Space 2?
Oh,
Laura's dead.
no, they were
Oh.
definitely in Dead Space 1.
Keep dodging them, Max. Good job.
Wow. Okay, so we actually got an answer for this as to why. No, they're in Dead Space 1. Yeah.
Not really.
No,
Yeah,
I'm like, they were definitely in Dead Space 1.
Let's see. It goes on. And one baby necromorphs, or lurkers as they're more known. It's kind of a jarring encounter. We'll need to find out why. Blah blah blah. Planet cracker ship.
You fucking
Fuck.
Max,
Just get in the safe room.
just get in. Just
Safe
get in.
room.
I didn't even get near it.
Okay, now I will
Open the door.
say it is
Open the
kind
door.
of really.
Open the door. Open the fucking door.
I'm really glad that the Dead Space universe is actually filled with competent people, unlike a lot of these universes. It's like the USG Ishimura was in operation for 60 years without incident.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
So it's not like the fucking incompetence that you see across the board in like all these other
60
sci-fi.
years of no human error. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, you know, from what I know of Dead Space, everything bad that happens isn't due to incompetence. It's due to just straight up maliciousness.
Yeah.
Like aside from the first one where they're dealing with something they don't understand, and the containment procedures they normally follow couldn't help them. There's not much you can do in that case. That wasn't even
living
incompetence. That
conditions
was
are
literally
cramped,
we don't
employment
have procedures
opportunities
for
are
this.
scarce.
Well, no, remember, they part of it was the issue that a bunch of them thought it was a religious holy object, and that the people who were turning into flesh-eating zombies were fucking ascending.
No, that's Dead Space 2.
No, that's the
That's Dead
second
Space 2.
game.
No,
The
it's not.
first one, no, the first one there was a bunch. There might have been, maybe there was someone doing that.
Yes,
but I do remember there was a
there
bunch of
were.
people having.
One of
the
the
second one.
doctors who helped spread everything.
Oh yeah,
was a
yeah, yeah,
unitologist.
yeah, because he was a
Yeah.
unitologist, right? Yep.
Well, I remember that being more widespread in 2, but in 1, I know there was a lot more like, this isn't the real way. This cannot be the real path.
No, that was the captain who eventually ended up saying that, but a bunch of the hardcore unitologists were like, no, this is the way, trust us, and they fucked everything up.
Yeah, so like Max said, it wasn't incompetence, it was maliciousness.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that it wasn't that there wasn't a procedure, because they did have procedures for it. It's just like Max said, that maliciousness fucked them over.
Yeah, which, by the way, it's kind of refreshing for survival, like
You're right,
kind of
exactly
refreshing
right.
in a sci-fi thing. It's like usually it's someone being incompetent. This is like, no, these are just straight up malicious dickheads. These
Well,
are
yeah,
bad
it's like how did the entirety of Raccoon City get fucked?
Incompetence.
No, Umbrella was a bunch of assholes.
Well, Umbrella was a bunch of
Well-
assholes, but it was massive levels of incompetence. Like Umbrella in
Yeah.
Raccoon City was doing shit like dumping used medical equipment into the sewer. They were, of course, experimenting in a black site underneath the city with the water supply right next to the city on purpose, which was malicious. I'll give you that, but it was also incompetence because
AK.
they were covering up incidents
AK up here.
for months before this. Because they kept having their test subjects break out and they were doing unexpected things in the middle of a
Yeah.
city. Which,
Yeah.
if you're doing a black site in the city, you're doing your final testing stages, not your initial testing stages. Umbrella is riddled with, it is malicious, but it's also incompetence. It's malicious incompetence.
Yes.
It went further than what they thought it would.
Yeah. But no, like the Ishimura and most of the Dead Space events were just, no, we are actually hyper competent and we're actually good people too, because like you'll get all these like logs of people being like, I am a security officer and I'm trying to help as many people as I can because I am a good guy security officer, and oh my god, the monsters, they're overrunning us, ah. And so it's like, oh, so it's not like in Left 4 Dead, in not Left 4 Dead 2, in Resident Evil 2, when you're in the city and you're like going through the logs and the various scraps of paper you find. It's like, oh yeah, this cop, hyper corrupt. Yeah, he's been stealing from the district for years. By the way, here's his ammo and weapon stash.
Yeah. Doors open.
Or, oh yeah, the reason why this thing is broken is because this cop was a coward and let his partner die instead of opening the door because he was scared.
A lot of people keep lighting me on fire.
Wait, sorry, what I missed, my niece was being a bit sad, so I let her kick me and fly across the room.
Amazing. We were talking about how Dead Space, unlike a lot of other of its shared genre /
Yeah.
types,
Actually
has all of the
explains-
events. Well, no, all of the events occur because of malicious people, not because of incompetent people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe except Dead Space 3, but Dead Space
Dead Space 3 doesn't
Dead
exist.
Space 1 and 2 certainly.
Well,
it
no,
was
Dead
just-
Space 3 was incompetent people. Was malicious people, not incompetent. Like they were very competent. That was the unfortunate bit in Dead Space 3.
They
Is
were
the villains were
very
actually
competent.
very competent.
No,
Yeah.
see, it was caused by incompetence because the studio itself was
Oh,
incompetent.
found the tank.
Excuse me.
Did we seriously get another tank?
No, I mean it's not. No. Okay, look, Dead Space 3 was actually a really good game. Okay,
back.
Mm.
like
It
ver-
just wasn't as
Oh,
I
he's got
wouldn't
his
call it
dumpster
as
to
good as
play with.
1.
Yeah,
But
no,
Dead Space 3 was still a good game.
Yeah, personally, I felt Dead Space 3 was better than 1 in terms of just sheer gameplay.
Yeah.
Or is that
After me.
The story obviously was worse in some
Yes.
parts, but like the
Fucking
story,
done
like
for me.
the story itself, in vast majority for Dead Space 3 was actually really good.
Mm.
But like they told it shittily at times, definitely.
Yeah,
They-
Dead Space 3 would have been perfect if they just stuck with the 200-year thing.
yeah.
Like, how much better of a game would that have been if we'd stuck with Soldier Boys?
The microtransaction thing again, obviously that was kind of really lame, but again, I did like the whole gameplay concept of just stick two guns together, because it's like, yeah, Isaac Clarke's an engineer who retrofits a bunch of his equipment constantly. Why wouldn't he be able to just stick two
fucking
guns
damn it.
together?
Well, especially since most of his guns are not guns; they're industrial equipment.
Yeah, not only the industrial equipment, they're industrial equipment working off of the same sort of power cells.
I just wish that the game didn't like require you to have a co-op partner to have like pretty much everything you wanted.
Now, I will say,
Yeah, it's 50-50.
I will say, it falls into the same kind of space that like the microtransactions in Dead Space 3 fall into the same space that like I think the microtransactions in Dragon's Dogma 2 fall into, which is fuck you with a rusty knife for putting them in developer. However, anyone who actually buys them is a goddamn idiot.
Yes, but no. So the problem is the Dead Space 3 microtransactions objectively gave you better weapons that you cannot acquire in the game.
It also fucked up the way that the game worked.
And gave you better armor than you could acquire in the game. And it gave you more resource collection slots. And it gave you faster resource collection.
It also made it so that like when you did resource collection, regardless, it would lag the fucking game because it was trying to update to a server first.
Well,
because they went, do you have this upgrade?
Arguing.
No? Then fuck you.
I'm not arguing that they didn't make it better, right? I could have, right, in Dragon's Dogma.
No, but your argument is that the microtransactions are on the same level, and my point is that they're not. Everything you can buy as a microtransaction in Dragon's Dogma is an item you can achieve normally in the game of Dragon's Dogma. The majority of the microtransactions in the Dead Space 3 are objectively superior weapons and armor that you cannot acquire normally, and objectively superior buffs that you would never be able to acquire normally in the game.
Yes. I agree, they are objectively superior, but they, how do I say that? Not having them isn't gimping you. Like,
no, it massively is. There is a massive difference between what Max had access to and what I had access to, in terms of the ability to switch out my weapons, in terms of the weapons I had access to work with, in terms of the damage of my weapons.
Okay. I didn't know it was that bad.
Oh, it was really bad.
Grab the adrenaline you just left on the ground, Aura.
I mean, with Rob, I had the same edition.
Aura.
Oh, it was Rob. My bad.
Your first play with Rob was vastly different between you two, whereas mine was about the same as yours.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And at the end of the day, you and I had at least one weapon combo that was
just so
roughly
broken.
The same.
Yeah. Like, yeah, because you can buy premium circuits which improve all of your weapon stats, and you got premium versions of the weapons in the game, and you had premium armors, and if you had the premium,
cool.
Oh, they were 100%. They were cool, but like they were giving you stats that you couldn't get in the game normally. The resource collection was broken as shit, because if you went the premium track, your resource collection was by the hour, and if you didn't do the premium resource collection, you had to wait 24 hours or 12 hours. And every single modification you made to the gun, even just swapping out parts to test, would require resources. And so you were actively punished for trying builds. Unless, of course, you were a premium user and just had all the resources, and it wasn't even a problem then. But Yeah, so anyway, point being, the reason why the babies show up in Dead Space 1 is because in Dead Space 1, they make biological prosthesis by creating clones, and then they cut the parts off the clones.
Yeah, Dead Space is a shitty universe to live in, regardless if there's zombies or not.
I mean, it's a pretty good universe to live in. What the fuck are you talking about?
Say, it's like it seems kind of decent.
Well,
Out of all the
okay,
sci-fi
no.
horror
Remember,
games
it
you
only
could live
seems
in, it's
decent
still
on the
one of the
surface
best.
because you got to remember things were not going well behind the scenes because they out and out said the whole reason the Ishimura had been running for 60 years is because the only way they could keep the economy going was to continuously crack planets in half to harvest them for resources.
Pills.
And I forget what the timeline was, but I know you can find a log on the Ishimura that's like, we're running out of planets to like continue to crack.
Mm.
Like planets within easy space flight.
Yeah. Well, I know. I'm not saying it was a great universe. I'm saying it was a pretty fucking good universe. Like, you didn't have malicious evil corporations until Unitology popped off. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, like people weren't being sold into slave contracts. People like none of that. Like, and like the cities themselves,
Hey,
when you
this
were
is
running
going
around
pretty
in them,
good.
were like not terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't a horrible mega corporation.
Yeah, like people seemed generally
Happy.
good.
Holy shit! I just got a killer tome in Awakening just from one of those.
There's
random
another
spots on the
Magnum
ground.
over here.
Yeah, no, they clone babies to grow them for spare parts for people that need medical assistance, such as arms, legs, hearts, livers, etc.
I did kind of like how. Oh,
the magazine I was reading that was covering this article was like, I can't believe no one was complaining about growing unsentient humans for body parts. It's like,
and there's pills.
okay, so people should just die, apparently, according to this journalist.
I mean, like, I'm not a fan of like growing babies either, but
Oh, they fixed this.
I mean, the thing is, though, right? Like,
Okay.
if it's a clone of you,
Mm.
then
Please no.
you're
Oh,
either
I'm
going to
dead.
make the argument of everything has a soul, which
Ooh,
that's gonna get into some complications for some people, or if it's just a clone, then it's just a clone, and there should be no issue. And
well, yeah, I was gonna say, right now the current moral
clone, it's time
objection
to
to human cloning is that we can't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Good job. Right. We can't know if the clone would develop into its own person, or if
but
it
we
would
do
be some-
kind of know because we've done a shit ton of twin studies and found out that
And we've even cloned a sheep, and it apparently was different compared to the regular one, I believe. Although it
but
died young.
Right. No, but that's the problem. If you do clone the sheep, it is something different. That's the problem.
Oh, cool. Free AK.
that might be because of the bad cloning tech we did when we cloned that sheep, if I remember the correct sheep you're talking
I believe
about.
so. It was,
Loads of
yeah.
bullets.
But like
Where
again,
is
the problem
nose
is right.
going?
Everything we know with twins supports
Where are
it
you
as
going?
well.
Well, no, everything we know about twins,
no.
the extensive
I
twin
need
studies
you
we've
to
done,
Pick up the
has
bullets
proven
there,
that genetics will triumph over nature in
Yeah.
almost every single time in terms of the patterns that someone does. Like they did a bunch of studies on twins that were separated at birth, and they found that the twins later on in their lives, when they're like 30s or whatever, would, despite one being adopted by a rich family and one being adopted by a poor family, they would go for the same job. They would try and go to the similar schools. They would end up buying property in similar environments of temperature and humidity and etc. They would end up trying to buy similar houses, and they would end up going for similar women as a romantic
You
interest.
fucking.
Why would you?
Why would you heal? I'm just throwing a bile.
Yeah. Isn't there that case where literally like identical twins married another case of identical twins?
There was a case of two identical twins who were separated at birth, and the reason why they found each other is because they
I'm with you.
both ended up working similar jobs and moving to a similar location, which ended up making them cross paths. Yes.
And then wasn't there also a case of two identical twins that got separated, but they found each other at, like a family reunion because they both married identical twins as well?
Yes, that also happened. Yes.
Yeah.
Hunter.
But yeah, so genetics play a massive role, as what we've seen from identical twin studies, in terms of a person's preference for job, for where they want to live, for who they want to marry, for the house they want.
Just get in the safe room, I guess.
So, as far as we can tell, if a human was cloned, they would be a clone in the true sci-fi sense of the word. Of they would want everything you want. And now, obviously, upon coming into contact with you, you introduce the paradox, because what we've also seen with clones is that when the human brain finds an identical version of itself, it will purposely deviate as a survival mechanism. Not in every case, not every time, but they found that clones that twins deviate more when they are together than when they're separate. Which,
Yeah, but the problem is even when they're different, like even when they go to try and do similar things, they're still different enough that the problem with cloning someone is, well, this would grow to be a real person. Like, based on what we know about twins, if we were to clone someone, the clone would be a person. Like,
I'm gonna go catch the plane.
that's the unethical part, is this could grow to be a person, but we're just harvesting them for their organs, and that's not okay, in the same way that it's not okay to just force someone to give up their organs.
I think we could fix that
I mean,
plane.
yeah, sure, but I mean, you would also have to spread that out then to cover the other forbidden topics, on YouTube and Twitch.
Sorry, the what?
The pro-choice, pro-life arguments. If you're,
No, I have a lot of the same.
I know. I'm just saying is that there is a numerous amount of people that I can think of off the top of my head who would make pro-choice arguments, but then would also at the same time be pro-clone life. And it's just like, well,
Yes.
that's contradictory.
Yes, those people are stupid.
So anyway, Outbreak 1917. The zombie apocalypse happened a century ago. A former member of the Royal Army Medical Corps recounts his experience during the outbreak of 1917 of an infection that turned soldiers and civilians into ghouls, and almost a century before the modern zombie lore. Okay, but here's the thing. Again, that's not Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead, they're all alive. They are not dead. They are not zombies. They are infected. They make a point of separating these two. If you shoot an infected, they die.
Yeah, they're called zombies for convenience sake within the story. Like,
Oh my
that's as far
God.
as it goes. Honestly, France is probably a lot closer with insisting on calling them vampires over zombie.
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of the best part, really. These fucking vampires, Francis, they're not vampires. For the love of God, Francis. They're not vampires.
Oh
Do
man,
they
I knew
burn-
it. I knew they were all vampires.
Do they burn in holy water, and when I hold up a cross, they're vampires?
Fucking Nick.
You
Oh,
know, I
God,
don't
there are
think holy
two of
water
them.
has been tried with Left 4 Dead 2 infected yet.
Ducky.
You know, it's
Also-
interesting because actual holy water, I'm talking about the highly ionized water, would actually strip viruses and bacteria, so that'd be interesting.
But surely it wouldn't make any difference on them.
Oh, well, no, it wouldn't set them on fire and burn them as in the supernatural theatricals. But I would be interested to see if someone drinking a copious amount of highly ionized water would actually help against the virus.
interesting.
Finally, we have the cure.
That just reminds me of that meme
Actually,
of the
you know-
guy trying to assassinate someone, but he doesn't die because he keeps eating cheese.
Also, it should be noted, only the characters refer to them as zombies. Official in-game stuff, they're the infected.
Yeah, they're
CDC
infected.
calls them
That's true.
infected.
Yeah.
Or
CDA
heal up,
calls
there's
them
another
that.
medkit here. And there's going to be
Yeah,
tanks coming.
Multiple.
Oh, am I the only one with a molly? Where is he?
Okay, we can just meat shot him. Just meat shot him.
No, well, Atin, get him through the fire. He might come through the fire.
Also, I'm sorry. How will the boys care for a zombie baby? It's like, I'm sorry, but if the baby's a zombie, just fucking kill it. It's not gonna ever stop being a baby then.
Listen, when you have an annoying neighbor who mows his lawn at 7 a.m. every morning on a Sunday, sometimes you want to feed him to the
Lame.
zombie baby.
No. Putting faith in the make-believe. Safe house to safe house, clinging to rumors of rescue like a drowning man clinging to a life ring. It's called a lifesaver. In the dead, hopeless world,
I've heard it called life ring as well.
the best you can do is put faith in the make-believe. Are you going to talk about Christianity in a second now, author?
Bruh.
Yeah.
I can smell your fedora from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, world's going to shit. I guess I might as well believe in God now.
The old fuckhole treatment.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this awakening luck? Holy shit.
This
You know,
story
honestly, I
follows
hate you people who are like that. Listen. Just because everything's gone to shit doesn't mean you can appropriate my religion.
Oh,
This is cultural appropriation. You're just pretending. You don't really mean it.
And listen, never mind the fact that my religion says you can explicitly do that. I'm telling you, you can't.
Indeed.
shame you don't make the rules.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. The Pope also doesn't make the rules with his religion, which is good.
That's because the Pope's a heretic.
I
The
mean,
Pope
yeah.
is, in fact, the archest of the heretics.
Indeed.
I didn't say he wasn't.
The
this thing off me.
Survivor's Guide to Surviving the Infection. Oh, wow, Max, we've only heard that. Oh, my God, Max, that's the actual one.
Wait, what do you mean the actual one?
The Survivor's Guide to Surviving the Infection, published 2011, April 10th.
Holy cow.
It's the OG.
No
Smoker.
fucking way.
Smoker.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep,
Oh, that's
it's the
unfortunate.
OG. What did he really come back after? I have waited to
13
post
years?
this chapter for 12 years.
What? What happened for him to be like, yeah,
Bro.
time to post?
Bro, 12 years later, bro.
Did I miss
I mean,
something?
we
Is
gotta
there
know.
something happening for Left 4 Dead? Like, what's going on?
It's a sex chapter.
Of course it is.
Zoe has fuck.
He was probably
Why did-
he was.
Oh,
he
we
was
have it on
stuck
the tank,
that for 12
boys.
years.
Why,
He was
why do
stuck
you
on
wait
writing
12 years
smut
to
for 12 years.
Well,
post it?
you
Makes
see,
sense.
Max, he had to become a 20-year-old.
Hmm?
I became a wizard and got all the knowledge of life to write
You
sex.
see, he was 13, and when he started posting it, and so now he has to be 25 to post it.
He was just 14 when his mind came up with a
Oh,
very
actually,
strange
no, I
thing.
take that
I can't-
back. He joined in 2006, which means Mm,
Back
working
into
out
playing
pretty easy.
boys.
If he joined in 2006, the average age for that's around 12 years old. So 12 years old would put him at. Oh wait, no. He's a 90s. He'd be 1990 probably.
Just in 90s, probably.
Yeah. So.
Let me in.
At most, I would say
yeah.
92.
Yeah, I'd say
'cause
92.
It's not
Yeah.
out there for a 14-year-old to get into fanfiction.
Yeah.
I got in there at like 13.
I mean, I got in super late. I created my
Yeah.
account in like 2010.
That's actually, yeah, that's about the same as me. Fuck.
Sneaky, would most 12-year-olds have FFN accounts from back then? 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
As soon as they found one thing to devote themselves to, they would have gone online to try and find more media about it.
You think they wouldn't? You do you really think that they wouldn't, bro? I've seen so many 12-year-olds. I've had to endure the opinions of people that I should never have to endure the opinions of.
12-year-olds?
Yeah. 12-year-olds aren't legally allowed to have opinions.
Hey, Atin.
Yeah.
Who should I pair with Crom in Awakening?
Oh.
You want gameplay
For some
or
reason,
war?
I'm leaning. I don't know why, but I'm leaning towards Sully.
I mean, that's a fair one. Also, remember, for reasons of both eugenics and to make the most fucked up line of succession possible, you absolutely need to pair Robin with Lucina.
Yeah, I know, but that's the best eugenics, but that's just kind of boring to me. It seems basic bitch.
Oh,
I'm
well,
leaning
no,
towards
but listen.
Noir.
It
No,
only seems basic bitch on the surface until you realize that it is Robin's plan as a secret sleeper agent of Grima to throw the entire continent into a permanent civil war and turn the scions
We're about to turn this shit into the HRE
against each other. Because think about it. You can then have adult Lucina try to overthrow child Lucina, but you can then have Robin's kid from future timeline Lucina then try to claim the throne. Alternately, since there's the Spot Pass DLC, you can have Robin get with Emerin, who is still the rightful heir. And just because she abdicated doesn't mean that any of her descendants wouldn't still have first claim to the throne.
Yeah, I know that, but I don't like this. The spot pass just seems kind of stupid and wishy-washy to me.
Oh, it
everyone that's
absolutely
part
is.
of it should have just died.
It absolutely is, no question.
The only one I can think of that might have been able to survive who joined them because he respected their strength is Walhart because he was strong enough not to die.
Yes, Walmart is indeed an excellent addition to your roster.
But everyone else is fucking like it doesn't make sense that they're still alive.
No, I mean Avarice is a cowardly hoe. She'd run away before she let herself die.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, all the options that seem basic on the surface can be made far more exciting with a little splash of a Song of Ice and Fire.
God, Fire Emblem Awakening eugenics was like the most drama-filled thing to ever happen to Fire Emblem. But then you've got Oda.
That was always part of Fire.
Then you've got a Wayne in the outskirts, ready with his wife Cynthia, just to come in and take the throne.
Oh yeah. But eugenics is not new to Fire Emblem.
No, it's been around for a hot minute now.
It's been in there since FE4.
Well, no, it was only in FE4, and then they kind of abandoned it because it turns out having eugenics simulator in your game about incest. Oops.
You know what's even great? You can make super incest by getting Salif and was it Julia together or was it the other chick? Using the jealousy system.
Oh yes, you can, which is incredibly messed up but hilarious. My personal favorite is accidentally-ing your way into a second wielder of what is the holy blood of Isak?
Oh, the fuck! I know what the. Oh,
So
I
that
know
there's
what
not
you're
one,
talking about.
not two,
But-
but
but
three
three.
people fighting for the super weapon sword.
Shannon, fuck, and Larsay or
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, here's the thing. The fact that that's possible makes me realize just how fucking lame and cowardly all of the
Mm.
royal houses are in that world, because you could make like a super monster with like 4 generations of selective breeding in that universe.
Mhm. Yeah. Although you also got to remember that the minor and major blood doesn't always show up in the kids.
But that's what
Like
I'm. Well,
in the play characters,
no, it
in the
does.
play characters, Oh, really? I thought in the play characters it does, but that's why
Nope,
Locked
nope,
didn't start
nope,
its
nope,
pages.
nope.
Really?
Let's see what we got here. We got Cry Baby Cry.
The firstborn child of any union of someone who has major blood is guaranteed to have major blood.
Oh wow.
Guaranteed. And every other kid is guaranteed to have minor blood.
Oh
What you're
wow.
thinking of is crests.
Ellis so far loved his new friends. Heck, he had been through an entire mall with them. And even better, they were at Whispering Oaks. Oh man, if he could just get a ride or even stop for some. Ellis, Nick's condescending, tired voice broke through the 23-year-old's revere as he stared at the cotton candy machine. You gonna stare at things we can't have, or are you gonna keep moving? Ellis pouted, an embarrassing blush rising to his cheeks. All he wanted to do was ride one ride. Sorry, Nick. But look around, y'all. Y'all telling me that this ain't you wanting to rides north or nothing? This made Coach chuckle a bit, the older man walking up beside Nick. Gotta agree with the boy, them rides are tempting, he tittered, as Rochelle simply rolled her eyes in amusement. They'd come this far, so jokes and laughter were a welcome event to differ from the shit they've been through in the past 48 hours. If you guys want to die here on some goddamn roller coaster, be my... Nick began as his tone rose from anger before the sound of a familiar, mournful cry cut him off. The 4 survivors' heads slowly turned to the small alleyway just past the set of tables to reveal a hunched form. A witch. Lights off, Coach warned, pushing Alice's gun down before he stupidly shone his flashlight at the crying woman.
You know, that's a fair reaction. Our poor boy would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, shit, Nick commented grimly, looking around. Okay, so I have to say, so far, the author doesn't know what an ellipses is. They're trying to do a 2-period ellipses, which is no. They're also not separating dialogue out of the paragraph. So they're having multiple people talk in the same paragraph. Which you can sometimes do if it's short things like, no, he said, and then someone else says, oh yeah, I bet you would say that. You can technically put that into a singular paragraph, but really shouldn't. Looks like our only way forward is through her, Rochelle said with a sigh. The former reporter was more than done with having so many obstacles. Meanwhile, the cogs in Alice's brain were turning as the young man eyed the witch. Oh no. Ruckus. Don't do it. Ruckus.
That's not good. Ruckus, you're not that accurate. Actually, wasn't there one point, I feel like at some point in one of our late night games when it was just you, me, Trios, and Ruckus, at one point one of us was just like, Ruckus, you're not drunk enough yet.
That was me. It was either me or you, yeah. It's funny because I met Enables and Ruckus by them being both blisteringly drunk, and me and Trios were up at 3 in the morning playing versus games. And yeah, that's how we all became friends. Oh, back in the day when I could be a child and play Left 4 Dead 2 at 3 a.m. Before the school day and still be able to get up just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's like I could play it until 3 a.m. Except it's got to be weekends only.
Yeah,
and that's
weekends
assuming
only, and
that's
I'm gonna
assuming
be
I don't
waking
pass
up.
out.
Yeah, I'm gonna be waking up at like 4 p.m. in the afternoon if I do that.
Don't remind me.
Which really only means you can do it on Friday nights now because you have
Yeah,
candy.
it is what it is. So anyway, given how skinny she was, her cries managed to make Alice wince, not from the ear-piercing sound of them, but from how sad and mournful they were. Sure, she got angry and attacked like a lot of other infected, but only if you provoked her. I will give credit where it's due. That is very Alice logic.
Well, it's also true within the constructs game.
Yes.
Don't forget,
Otherwise,
don't forget the one that got people theory crafting was the Wedding Witch, where it's like, oh no.
well, the other thing that got people brains chugging was the fact that the witches at the sugar mill were pretty much neutral.
Yeah.
And you basically had to fucking bulldoze them to make them attack you.
No, they'd still get pissed off if you shine a flashlight on them. But like you can walk pretty close to them without.
Okay, but like anyone would get pissed off if you shoved a flashlight in their face, Max.
Yeah.
Well, also, it's probably also
How
worth
am I
noting
getting
that we
such
know for
weapons?
we know
What the
for
fuck?
a fact, thanks to verses, that infected have enhanced night vision.
Yes.
God, imagine how sick it would have been, Sneaky, if they had taken what they revealed in the comic books and applied it to Left 4 Dead 2 versus mode, where the survivors have slightly fucked up models.
Oh, where they look like demons?
Yeah, that would have actually been kind of sick. Because so the green flu affects the brain, and so we get to see what a common infected sees in one of the official comics, and people who are not fellow infected just straight up look like demons and monsters, which is why they go ballistic when they see you and start beating the shit out of you.
Specifically beating the shit out of you. Keep in mind that infected don't really bite.
Nope, there is no eating occurring. Not even the hunter. The hunter is just clawing you.
Yeah.
Because for some reason the thing gives him actual like talons, which is fucked up.
Well, yeah, but the point more
again,
is that the infected aren't attacking you because ooh brains or gotta consume human meat or cannibalism urges or anything. The infected are attacking the humans specifically because to the infected the humans look like some sort of distorted monsters. So they get also gotta keep in mind the infected also have their aggression centers of the brain inflamed by the virus, but they see these monsters and they're like, oh my god, we have to kill the monster, and so they punch you and kick you and grab you, not bite you and eat you.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me
one
wrong,
thing that's also
biting
important to
does
note-
occur, but that's more of a process of you just trying to kill something than actually.
Well, I was
trying
gonna
to
say,
eat
and one thing that's important to note is you will occasionally observe infected beating other infected,
Yes.
because those are people who are partially immune, or I think it was in the process of becoming immune.
Infected.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just the heightened aggressiveness.
Yeah, I think it was just the
occurring.
heightened aggressiveness
yeah,
making
it might
them
have just
fight
been
each
the
other.
But yeah,
Like it's rare to see, but like you will sometimes stumble on and just watch two commons just beating at each other.
what I think
thought I
is
saw one
interesting-
in our game earlier. Looked
You
like
did,
wailing
you
on
did.
nothing.
Yeah, you probably did.
No, it
It
looks
happens
like
sometimes.
one thing that I thought was really interesting was I saw two of them beating on a mannequin.
I think you see that sometimes. I think that's sort of a, environment storytelling.
No, I know, but
It's
but
pretty
like I'm just
consistently
saying,
in the
like
mall.
I think his point was more along the lines of the infected are all paranoid and aggressive, and they saw a
Yes.
mannequin and were like, "Oh my god, it's another monster."
yeah. Because that's the other thing that they don't really mention. Like, anyone who's infected with the green flu doesn't see other people infected with the green flu as a problem,
Yes.
right? That's one of
Yeah,
the important things to mention.
Yeah,
Anyone
there's a
who's
lot of mental gymnastics going on inside the infected's mind to excuse why they're kind of just wandering around and not doing things they would normally do.
yeah. Left 4 Dead's general world building is so insanely solid, especially when you compare
Well,
it to some of the stuff we get today.
the great thing about Left 4 Dead's world building is the fact that they do all of the necessary world building in game. There is nothing in the comics that you actually need to know to have the game be fun.
Yeah. And everything the comics the only thing that the comics show you that is unique to them is what the common infected see.
Yeah, and like
Everything
I said,
else we've discussed is in the game somewhere.
yeah,
Carriers are mentioned in the game. Heightened aggression is mentioned in the CDC boardrooms that you pass through in a hospital. Like, oh yeah, the infection causes aggression. There are different strains.
Yep.
Like, there's all kinds of stuff that the game
also not
tells
only
you and
that, it's
shows
like, oh, why is this a rescue area? It's like, oh, it's because the military was evacuating people out of it. So of course these safe rooms would have been created over time as the military was evacuating people out.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, of course there's a radio here. It's because they set it up on purpose so people could call in for evacuation.
Yeah, some of the finales, just straight up you get a response of like, holy shit, someone's alive. Okay, do this thing. We're on our way. Try to survive.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my
voice
God.
lines in the game for that of like, holy shit.
Yeah,
I
like,
can't
oh,
believe you're alive.
shit, you'll need to get the fuel lines ready, but if you can get those ready by the time we get there, we can leave.
I like how in the fucking Paris they're just like, holy shit, someone's actually alive in that city. There's someone on the bridge. Hold up, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Hey, look at them planes! Well, how they're dropping presents? Oh, why are them presents exploding?
I hope mine's a football. So dumb.
Oh, Left for Speed.
I should have watched that again. It's been a while.
It's
Um.
so great.
Yeah, but
that
like,
must be the
again,
fella that masturbates all day.
Thank you, Ellis.
Oh god, there's just a crazy amount of storytelling in there. Like there's just so much cool storytelling in the world. That, and you know, it's there if you go and look for it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's all these comments that they put everywhere, and what they tried to do in Back 4 Blood, but really failed at, where like if you look at the commentary that's going on in the safe rooms, it's like good commentary. It's like, oh, it's not like Back 4 Blood where they're like, oh, the world's ending, everyone deserves this, but like the Left 4 Dead commentary inside the safe rooms, it's like, you know, has anyone seen Jack? No one's seen Jack, idiot. How would we tell you? You know, people being like, watch out for the bitten. They'll turn in 7 days. 7 days? What are you talking about? It's 2 hours.
Yeah. Don't trust the CDC.
Yeah.
There was one that was like washing your hands doesn't help. It's like,
Yeah.
let's maybe not discourage people from washing their hands in a apocalyptic hellhole. Just to be
No,
safe.
but no, I do understand the premise there though, because
Oh,
some people will be
absolutely.
like, they'll get infected and they'll be like, oh, but I washed my hands, so I don't need to tell anyone I was bit.
Yeah, that kind of stupid.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, also Back 4 Blood's other issue is that it's a progression system stacked with a card system as well, which
Also,
No,
I
no, no. None of that was the problem. None of that was the problem. The problem was they fundamentally deviated from the basic formula of Left 4 Dead. Here's the problem. I remember wanting to see, how does the hardest difficulty of Back 4 Blood compare to the hardest difficulty of Left 4 Dead 2?
Sure.
So I turned it on. We opened the fucking safe room door, and immediately there were 6 of the same infected model.
Right.
6 of the same special infected. It was the super weird fucking freaky tall guy in Riot Collar.
Right. Yeah. The
And
Charger.
they just beat the shit out of us the second we opened the safe room door. And as soon as I saw that happen, I said, nope. I know for a fact that I will never play this game. Pay money for this game.
Me mentioning the progression system and cards is still deviating from it
Yeah.
because the hardest difficulty is balanced around the card system
Yeah.
and the progression system.
I know, but
So
even with the
you
card
telling me
system,
I'm
even if
wrong
they'd made this card
is
system
wrong.
amazing, even if they'd made this card system amazing,
You're not listening. It's balanced around the cards. It's balanced around specific things.
Not only that,
That's the problem.
I think the main issue with the progression system is the fact that they didn't go all the way. I brought this up with Max before. Is that the progression system's main issue is that it limits itself to these cards, but they also introduced a pseudo progression system to the maps with the gun rarities and shit, where the more rare weapons just had better stats, which is just dumb. If you're not going to let them keep those if you're not going to let the players keep the gun progression as well, so because then you only get the great gun right at the end of the final map, and it's just like
as opposed to Left 4 Dead, which has rare spawn spots for tier 2 weapons in most maps.
Well, not only that, it's rare spawn spots in the first 2 maps, and then you're guaranteed to get the tier 2 weapons by either the second or third map.
Yeah.
And then you just start with them in the next map.
Out of 4 to 5 maps consistently.
Yeah.
But to me, but to me, it had nothing to do with the progression systems. Yes, those deviated from the formula of Left 4 Dead, but those, you might have been able to fix those with time. But when I could open the door,
I think he's more talking about how in Left 4 Dead, the special infected could only spawn of one type at a time.
I wasn't
usually.
It's because
deliberate
thought was good night. Deliberate thought, and yes, I know the cards were an attempt to balance it, but my point
they
was
weren't
that
an attempt. That's what they were balanced around. That wasn't the attempt at all.
It was an
That is why it was
unsuccessful
done
attempt to balance it.
Oh, it absolutely
totally,
was.
yeah.
Like I'm not saying that there wasn't. I'm saying
the cards are the root of the problem. It deviated the moment they added the cards because then they had to change everything
to fit the cards
around this system.
Yeah.
What I am saying is not incorrect, and what you are saying is not necessarily incorrect, but it still stems from the cards.
So I didn't play much of the beta. I have a question about the cards.
True.
Oh, I didn't play enough to get to the cards. When I heard about the cards, I dropped.
But go ahead.
I dropped the game. Sneaky.
Could the cards control the rate at which special infected spawned and what kinds?
No. What the cards controlled was how much health you had, how fast you could run, how fast you could reload. If you spawned with extra items, if you had extra ammo, if your guns did more damage, you were more accurate. And then there would be other special effects, like when you're playing with this character and you're using their default weapon, they do this effect.
Get some bonus.
Yeah.
That may be the stupidest one of all. But
absolutely.
Yeah,
also, shit like carry extra med kits.
Oh yeah, didn't the characters also? It was basically a hero shooter.
Yes.
Yeah. Each character. So I did sort of like that idea. It was very poorly executed because there were just objectively better characters. Like some of them, like, oh yeah, this guy gives bonus ammo to everyone. It's like, well, you have to have him always then.
Funnily enough, they managed to implement hero type characters decently well in Evolve. I liked how they did that.
Yeah.
Well, Evolve did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
They should have like it's that thing where like because the progression is tied to characters, you've already kind of fucked up there. Whereas Evolve was like, here's your characters, one of each. pick your roles. Everyone will find the role that they play best or they fit in best, and go for it.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind the role idea. I think the role idea has value in a Left 4 Dead inspired game type.
Yeah, but that's not really what happened in Back 4 Blood. Is my problem.
Right, but that's
do
also
that.
what I'm saying though. Is in Evolve you actually could pick your loadout. Like you could be like, oh, I want this gun instead. Yeah. And that's like I said, they didn't go far enough with the progression system in Back 4 Blood. Because if you could pick what gun you started with, and then if you did enough games, you could upgrade the rarity of that gun you started with, and you could add attachments to that gun, that would be immense. That would be crazy good. Like, what's the point of having a shooting range so you could test the feel of all of the guns if the gun you get is fucking random?
Yeah.
What's the
Boy,
point
I
of
really
having
like-
a fire rate increase card? Like, what's the you have 5 card slots or whatever. What's the point of wasting a card slot on a fire rate increase if you don't know what weapon you get and you RNG just gives you shotguns and rifles the entire time?
Again, I get what you're saying, but again, none of those were the problem for me. The problem, yes, the cards were symptomatic of the problem, but for me, the entire problem was that they didn't obey some of the things that helped ground Left 4 Dead and keep it back, which was there can only be one of any given special infected at a time.
And not only that, Left 4 Dead also does an amazing job with the ramping, where it does
Yes,
give you that
the
breather.
ramping is excellent. Right, but they were like, okay, cool. We have designed these specific monsters, right? When you first start playing Versus, you think, why do I want to be the boomer? The boomer sucks ass. I hate being the boomer. And then when you've put like 40 hours into the game, you realize the boomer is the most important part of your combo.
Yes.
Right? And everything that applied in Versus carried over to actual design logic that it had, right? The game will send a boomer or a spitter or a jockey or something to try and disrupt you first to scatter the team so
Then
that it
pick
can
you
then
off.
send in other special infected that deal damage, like the hunter or the charger,
Right.
right? Or if you're off fucking alone, it'll be like, cool, smoker his ass.
Right. No, yeah, exactly. But like that's the problem is like if they did a combination of Left 4 Dead and Killing Floor.
You could have had
I
a great
still
game.
remember. Yeah, I still remember Killing Floor 2. How much hours I spent with friends on that.
Yeah, exactly. It could have been a great game. Yes, there'd be progression involved. And sure, you can make it like RNG. The card decks would be still randomish, and it's like, okay, yeah, fine, whatever. That'd be like not great. Don't get me wrong. Relying on RNG for
Weapons.
well, no, because Left 4 Dead 2 does have a minor amount of RNG for weapons. Because sometimes you get the auto shotty, sometimes it's the
Yeah.
burst fire. Whatever. Like
I mean,
there is
for
some
crying out loud,
RNG there.
I mean, for crying
I
out
thought
loud,
you were
Max and I were doing a run a couple of days ago. Max, we got what, 8 combat shotties in a row? Sure, it changed it up between the 2 combat shotties, but it was like 8 of them in a row.
It didn't give us any automatic weapons until we got to the event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Sneaky, it was Crash Course. So you know how long that first map is.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
So you get to the event in that, which is literally maybe 100 yards from the safe room by the time you run that bridge. That was the first time it actually gave us an automatic weapon of any sort.
That's rough.
So weird stuff can happen, but
I would have taken the shotgun if it wasn't for the fact that we're on expert and Sneaky, you remember what happens when I grab shotguns on expert?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, advanced, I'll do that all day. Expert, don't need to deal with teammates running across firing lanes like we kept doing.
But anyway, so yeah, like I said, that was my problem. Was right. The hardest difficulty of Left 4 Dead fundamentally is just balanced around you making fewer mistakes because the zombies hit you harder. That's it. You have fewer rooms to make mistakes. You have to have better shot placement. You can't hit your teammates as much. You have to communicate more because the special infected do more damage and kill you quicker. Normally, I hate that kind of thing in a game, but one thing that keeps it balanced is that the amount of damage I take is increased, but the amount of damage I deal isn't fucked with, and the amount of health that the enemy has is also not fucked with.
Yeah.
Unless you go to unless you very specifically go to realism, but the standard mode, a zombie
even in realism, the enemy health is actually your damage is increased, but their damage is increased. It's like even in realism mode, it actually doesn't change.
The only thing that
realism
changes
mode's
in
weird,
realism
right?
is
But
body shots do less damage.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it
melee can
doesn't-
overcome that.
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you go from normal difficulty all the way up to expert difficulty in the standard campaign mode. Every pistol will do the same amount of damage no matter where you hit the zombie. Now, of course, headshots do more damage, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
Right? But the pistol does the same damage on normal that it does on expert.
Right.
And that's good because, like, right, the difficulty gets harder, but as you get better, that's less of a problem. It's not they're just artificially increasing the difficulty by, hey, cool, this special infected has 2,000 health on
Yeah.
normal difficulty. Oh, but it has 4,000 health on expert difficulty. By the way, we spawned 6 of them at once.
I think actually,
Fuck
I think
off.
I think tanks and witches get we get more health on the difficulties.
Actually, no. So what happens with tanks and witches is it places. So tanks and witches have what is known as a variable health pool. Every tank and witch that spawns spawns with a different amount of HP. But witches do have a health cap of like I think 1,200.
No, it's 1,000, I think, because
Yeah, it is 1,000, right? Yeah.
Because like the shotgun theoretical damage maxes at like 1,100 if you hit every single pellet in the right spot.
But point being though is that the tanks and the witches have a variable health pool, and when you do harder difficulties, it just weighs it more in favor of spawning with a higher health. It doesn't actually change the health pool. It's just more likely to spawn with more health.
It's neat to know.
Like that time that Max spawned a tank with 8,000 HP.
By the way, I like that doing a Google search for Left 4 Dead 2 tank health variable brings me to a modding forum where like, so I made a mod that automatically recalculates the tank's health. It's like, why would you do that? What's wrong with you?
A lot.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I too am curious as to why someone would inflict that horror upon the world. But anyway, right? My point is that was what turned me off of the game.
Yeah, and that's definitely a failure of
right.
Well,
of Back 4 Blood. Yeah.
I
Whenever
think the moment I became worried for Back 4 Blood was when I heard we do not have verses in the game and we are not planning it for the future.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Because in retrospect,
yeah,
part of the reason the special infected work as well as they do is that they're balanced perfectly for versus mode to work.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
And then I did the beta with Sneaky, and our first interaction with a special, I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
This thing is just a bullet sponge. This is
well,
awful.
see, the problem is the difference between this is the director is an amazing AI creation of Valve, and Turtle Rock does not have the people that made the director.
Yeah,
so
not anymore.
No, they never did. The people that they claimed that worked on Left 4 Dead 2 that were in Turtle Rock it was only like 3 of them, and they were like VFX artists and shit.
Oh.
Oh no.
So like when they said, "Oh, but by the developers of Left 4 Dead 2,"
They didn't technically lie.
they didn't technically lie, but it's like saying that, oh, this bottled water is fresh because it came from the tap.
Yeah.
You haven't lied to me. However,
Yeah. So they didn't have the technical expertise to create a good AI, and so they did what every hack developer does when they don't have the technique to make a good AI work with the systems you've created, and that's they pumped the health pool and pumped the damage on the creature because it's stupid.
Yeah. Which,
So-
as a
I'm going to
reminder,
bed.
we got to see that in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game from Platinum, when it was a major
Ugh, that
letdown
was
that they
Yep.
went with the bullet sponge.
Yep. That
Oh,
was
shit.
disappointing as hell.
Especially because it was a Platinum game.
So anyway, let's wrap up this Ellis romancing the witch story, and we'll call it a night. So Ellis approaches the witch, puts his gun away, says he ain't gonna hurt her. She's growling at him.
It turns
And
into sex. Probably.
Everyone else is like, Ellis, what the fuck are you doing? And then just then Ellis runs up to the witch and hugs her.
I'm sorry, you have startled the witch.
And then she stops growling.
Perish.
So the witch stops growling, and then she starts crying on his shirt. And the witch finally received comfort she so desperately craved. And her clawed hands wrapped around Ellis.
I would laugh my ass off if in the next paragraph she just passes on.
It just like ascends.
She just moves on from this world.
So the witch is still on top of him, sobbing into him. Son of a bitch, Coach remarks, both confused and impressed. At least the crying stopped, Nick groans. The con man rubbing his temples from the headache the witch's crying induced earlier. Guys, how are we going to get her off him? In response to the question, Ellis tries to push the witch off before she starts crying louder and shaking back and forth. And Ellis is like, maybe I can carry her? And Nick's face pinched. No, we are not bringing a witch with us. Not heeding Nick's words, Ellis manages to pick up the witch into a bridal carry. Yes, we are, he finally responded, giving Nick a shit-eating grin. Coach laughed, and Nick looked ready to punch Ellis's lights out. Ellis thought he had already seen everything, but carrying a crying girl in his arms at a carnival with 3 strangers he had met not 2 days before took the cake.
Credit where it's due. I believe these are the characters, and I believe that this is something Ellis would logically attempt.
Yes. Now, you could play it off as a minorly comedic story, because the other infected are also all afraid of the witch, and the witch has no issues with friendly fire.
Yeah, no, the amount of times that we have been like, oh no, we pissed off the witch during a horde, and it's like, oh, she just cleared like half the horde for us. Great.
Yeah, she scythes her way through the horde. I even remember that one time it was like, I think they were either being chargered or they were on top of, they had a hunter on them, and the witch just ran up and killed the special infected so she could kill them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think we've seen chargers and hunters get that treatment.
Get out the way, bitch! I'm doing this myself. So yeah, the witch has no problems with friendly fire, and I think we saw in the comics that the infected did provoke the witch on purpose to get her to attack uninfected.
I don't recall. It's been a minute since I've read those comics. I should reread them because they're nice and short.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I would be highly amused of a story in which Alice befriends the witch and proceeds to use her as a zombie deterrent as everyone else gets the fuck out of the way of the unprovoked witch being carried by a person.
Yeah, you know, there might just be some confusion of like, what? The fuck?
Yeah, it would be kind of funny. You'd have to play it off as a less serious story though, because I don't think if
Oh,
you try to go for a serious, yeah,
it would have to be humor all the
yeah.
way through.
But all right, gentlemen, we had a good one. Woke up late, went down late. Everything's all peachy and good. See you next time.
Mm-hmm.
Always gets more.
Yeah.
Always gets worse. uh, Chinese youth in tears as 50-cent spicy strips are too pricey, only being paid $1 a day. Damn, China's getting a little crazy. China be getting a little crazy. Oh no, Max, it's happening.